I want you to listen to him, give him a chance. Put your hands together for the funky hunky.
She says go with no time, there's no turning back. How you learning that? See the strap, there's no burning that. You turning that from the back, matters burning that. Body like a maniac, like you over piggyback. Ride to my neighbor that.
Tango and cash, cane to mango and blast. Together, tougher than Alcatraz, prison bars, driving foreign cars. Yes, it's me, and my man compadre, black and white, white and ivory, and black ebony. They can't step to me.
Watch your roof subtract. I did a car show with only 2 hubcaps. There came a long way from you to broke 4 tracks. Just a boot back shop, lifting bushwhack.
We're fresh, and they're not. So give it up, don't even do this, you're whack. In fact, you get flatlined, you need practice. We stick you like a cactus. Nah, you're not a guy, you're an actress.
Whoever got the weed, nigga, let me buy that. If it's backyard, nigga, get your fucking eyes black. Drive through, bitch, with my fucking fries at. I get a rush from a shit and get high hat. Or a bareback Redita with a nice stack. I'm just a boss, and the girl, what's that?
D12, formed in 1996, including members Proof, Conniva, Fuzz, Swifty, Bugs, Mr. Porter, and Eminem. In the early 2000s, this hip-hop collective were off to a great start. Their debut as well as sophomore albums both went double platinum, gaining notoriety for their brash, horrorcore-esque lyrics, self-deprecating expressions, into deep addiction to drugs, and slight comedic approach to the phrase, I don't give a f.
Guess what? What's
I don't give a f.
I don't give a f. Bitch, I don't care.
Eminem gets the credit for being the face, while many truly don't even know the name of his band and how talented they were as lyricists, serving as the vehicle that gave Eminem credit in the streets and in a hip-hop culture in those days where seeming tough as an artist greatly helped your image. Without Eminem, D12 wouldn't be who they were, of course, as he was just the right guy to help them better express their split personalities and different enough to grab attention at first glance. Not to mention, he's one of the greatest hip-hop artists of all time. Skill-wise and on the charts, he stands alone. But the same could be said about Eminem, and having D12 did something for sharpening his skills and being around a group of guys that made him acceptable and not seem contrived and unbacked as a guest in the house of hip-hop, as Lord Jamar would say. D12 was a standout group in the early 2000s because they were just different. At the time, rappers weren't clowning themselves or speaking on anything but being cool and posing as the best image of a thug, while D12 had fart ad-libs, talked about each other's mom, prosthetic arms, even defecating on man, woman, and child. It was perfect for as long as it lasted. They were also true MCs at the same time, with Proof specializing in going off the top in freestyles, along with Conniva, Porter, Swifty, and Fuzz following suit, while Eminem wasn't so bad himself. Together, they helped each other reach success in the music industry, while Eminem took the step forward as the face that got them in the door and kept them there for as long as the group could hold up. Sadly, only 2 albums would come from this collective, both having major success in sales and reception, but time couldn't save them from all that comes with being in a group and dealing with every different personality and mood that comes with it. As the years go by, not too many even remember D12 existed, as playing their music in these days in society most likely won't fit today's culture for better or worse. They had more than a spark when they started, but after multiple deaths within the group, too much time off, and a new day and time, D12 is officially over. What happened? Let's talk about it. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth Music. Let's get it, man. Take a minute to like, subscribe, and comment on who I should do next. You can also send a super thanks by clicking the button below. Enjoy the video. D12 is a Detroit group that came together in the 90s as MCs from different crews and sides of the city. Proof recruited Conniva and Mr. Porter from the Brigade, Porter actually being a producer turned D12 rapper after Proof suggested he make the switch. He also produced Eminem's debut album Infinite, which some call a classic. Bugs later joined the group and introduced them to Swifty McVeigh, and the group was beginning to form. They chose the name D12, the D obviously for Detroit, but intentionally standing for dirty, and because unofficially it was so many of them, the 12 for dozen, the Dirty Dozen. They released their debut EP in 1997 that locally helped a few of the artists with their solo careers and marked the first time the group would hit the studio to release a project. In 1999, one of the members, Bugs, was murdered at a picnic, inspiring Eminem to really begin focusing on the group. They released their debut album in 2001, dedicated to their friend Bugs. Stunt number 1, Eminem's hiatus. Like mentioned, D12 as a group were on the rise before Devil's Night dropped a year after Eminem's third studio album, the classic Marshall Mathers LP. Executive produced by Eminem, who had tons of mainstream success at the time, the album caught on instantly with fans, mostly of Slim Shady's. Behind Ain't Nothing But Music, Purple Pills, and Fight Night, the album went double platinum in the US and received many awards worldwide. The group turned around in 2004 and released a second album called D12 World that also sold over 2 million in the US and more worldwide. It was well received, as to me, this was the prime of the group's career and as individuals. Eminem could touch anything at that point and it would sell. Too bad he was growing more and more tired of the politics of being a rapper, and at that point in life he needed personal time and space to figure out his own journey. After his 2004 encore, Eminem decided to take a break from the industry to deal with personal issues of drugs and family drama, and wouldn't release another album until 2009, 5 years after dropping his third. This hurt D12 because they were led by Eminem thus far, and the attention he brought being the only dope white rapper in the game, and all his other antics, not to mention his music was at its peak. But for 5 years, Eminem refused to work on anything. As reports were, he was in no position to help anyone else, not being able to help himself. Within those 5 years, everything changed for D12. Stunt number 2, Proof passing away. One of the main occurrences in Eminem's hiatus was the death of the glue that initially brought and held all the pieces together, Eminem's close friend Deshaun Houghton, aka Proof. On April 11, 2006, according to reports, a fight broke out at a club while Proof and another man were playing pool. At some point, a disagreement began and the man's cousin, who happened to be the security, came over and attempted to stop the fight by shooting in the air. Instead, it caused commotion and stampede all around, also Proof to brandish his weapon, and from there, the story becomes conflicting depending the source. Some say Proof shot the guy he argued with in the head, then was taken out by the cousin and security, while others claim the security accidentally shot both guys, not knowing where the threat was coming from. It's hard to know what's true, as fans just want to understand exactly what happened to an artist that had a bright solo future ahead of him and the glue that held D12 together. After his death, inactivity went on a few more years before D12 released a project. Return of the Dozen Volume 1 released without an appearance from Eminem, who was busy working on his return album Relapse. The mixtape came and went, and from there, D12 was pretty much done. Stunt number 3, eclipsed by Eminem's success. This third one could fit in anywhere along the D12 journey, as they were bound to have this happen with a rapper as talented and as different to his space as Eminem. Eminem, being a white rapper, hurts him in that he's not given instant credibility and has to be walked in the house of hip-hop most times in the beginning, or co-signed by men of color to be taken serious, but at the same time, once he gets in, he then becomes a rarity in the house. Whoever is looking in on that house, this being the fans, you can't help but notice all the rarities inside, Eminem being one of them. What made him the one was that he could actually rap. Not like Macklemore Rap or Machine Gun Kelly, Yellow Wolf, or any other corny white boys allowed to dwell in the house as long as they saw benefit. Eminem did Renegade. Since then, he had my respect, and no album after Encore could take that away. Because of these occurrences, D12 being pretty much normal everyday guys that rapped, except Bizarre of course, it was easy for Eminem to vault in front of talks about D12, and it made them less interesting unless Eminem was involved. As Eminem grew and found new artists to work with, D12 kinda just faded to the background. They waited for him to return to the game, then all of a sudden he comes back and is solely focused on him as an artist. The rest of D12 just got old and their music not as interesting in these times. All in all, D12 was still a dope group and were much needed in hip hop. They had 2 double platinum albums. You can't name a handful of groups that can do that now. They were different and were true respected MCs, but for these reasons, their growth was stunted. Salute, much respect, rest in peace Bugs, rest in peace Proof. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth Music, and I'm out.